Hi there, it's Nicole for Kerri Bradford Studio, and today I have a layout share showcasing Kerri Bradford cut files as well as her physical stamps, and I've created this now and then layout. It's a layout that showcases my daughter and my niece at prom this year, but it also shows them dressed up when they were little, about 3 or 4. And it's just kind of a look back. The title really kind of influenced the entire layout. The now and then title shows the photos now and then the photos from when they were small. Almost every single one of my layouts, this is how they start out. I open my Silhouette software. I generally use a photo template, so I have imported that. I've added my title and then an element for the journaling. Here you can kind of see I have all of my elements die cut out already, and I have printed my journaling on this file tab. This is from the Traveler's Notebook or Traveler's Notebook dividers, where I'm not using them to create a mini album. I'm using them as a great place to house my greeting and my journaling, or not my greeting, make too many cards, my title and my journaling. So I've printed that out and I just have my title laying there for right now. But what I'm going to do is go ahead and add some additional elements to really add to and embellish the journaling and the whole journaling feel of this using some of Kerri's stamps. I stamped them with Versamark ink and I'm sprinkling on some rose gold embossing powder. Again, my choices were very much influenced by the colors for my page. I went for pretty clean and simple. It's going to be a tone-on-tone textured background, which I'll talk about here in a little bit, and then this kind of peachy pink paper that gradually goes from darker to light. But the rose gold really complements the color of my pattern paper. Another thing I did was turn my photos to black and white because there were the colors in the photos were all over the place and I wanted a uniform look. Once I get my stamping all done on this panel, I'm going to go ahead and heat set that with my heat tool. At the bottom, it's got a little box that says date, then a little phrase that says enjoying all that life has to offer, plus a little heart there that's going to be right behind the word then in the title, and the documenting life with the little carrots on each side up at the top on the tab. Now I use the Swiffer dry cloths to pick up my embossing powder. That's what I just did there. It picks up the embossing powder great, where it sometimes can be a trick if you spill or overflow your embossing powder container and it gets everywhere. The Swiffer really picks up all those little particles. Here's where I'm going to work on my tone-on-tone background. I have a 12 by 12 piece of white cardstock, plus I have die cut Kerri's heart background design, one of them from that kit. There's several different ones. This one has the random heart cutout pattern. I've die cut another sheet of white cardstock with that pattern. It's going to give a really nice texture, but not add a ton of color. This is going to help keep the focus on my photos and journaling, but still give some interest to the background, more so than just a plain white background would give. I'm adding little dabs of glue to the back of this design all over. There's probably other better ways to do this, but I found this was just worked for me. Again, adding just tiny little dots. I'm not squirting it out and really, drawing huge lines of glue all over it because I don't want that glue to squish out underneath and, make a sticky mess on top of this once I flip this over and attach it to my 12 by 12 sheet. Just continue adding all those little dots of glue. I'm going to flip it over, line it up, and attach that to my white cardstock background. Now the great thing about all those little heart openings is I have, when I die cut my little notebook or that tabbed page where the journaling and title go, I die cut some hearts as well. I just ungrouped the image in the Silhouette software from this background, grabbed a bunch of these hearts, positioned them on my pattern paper so that some of them would be in the darker peachy pink area, all the way down to the lighter, so that I could very much follow the design of the page. So the hearts at the top are going to be much darker. As you go down the page, they're going to get lots lighter. I'm using the glue again to just kind of put a little glue in each of those areas and then insert my heart. So it's very much an inlay design. I even want some hearts sticking off of the edge. Now, anywhere in the center of the page, in fact, here I started to put some hearts and I realized I really don't need to add those hearts because I'm going to be covering up that center area. So you basically want to concentrate those hearts on the four edges. There's no sense in going through all the work of adding hearts where you're just going to cover them up. You can also see here, different from my original kind of plan for the page, I have added another one of those tabbed pages. I've die cut it from some wood grain paper. And that's just going to be a nice layer back behind the photos. I'm a big fan of adding simple little layering elements like this for my pages. You can see these hearts are super light, but it really adds to the whole feel of the design. Once I have this all filled in, I put something heavy like acrylic blocks on top to hold those elements in place. And I can start working on adding a little embellishment. I'll just trim my ribbon a little bit. I'm going to take a nice strong adhesive. I'm using the Glue Glider Permatac adhesive. Going to draw a little line of glue there on my photo collage, kind of divide the top from the bottom. Secure that velvet ribbon in place. Put a little adhesive on the back. Wrap that around. I'm going to trim one end and slightly have it a little longer on one side. Just kind of a fun little, almost a tab there on the right side. Then I'm going to sew a button in place to hold that tab right there. This is a nice glass button. I've had it in my stash forever, but it adds to the kind of romantic feel to the design. Go ahead and tie that in the knot on the back of my photo collage. Now that's going to add some bulk to my photo collage, and I'll show you how I'm going to attach the photo collage to my page so that it doesn't have that bulky back to it. I'll go ahead and add just a little stamping to my other divider page with the tab. That was kind of a late addition, so I want to add a little stamping to that tab as well. Trying to decide exactly which stamps I want to use. I'll use the word happiness and then one of the arrows. Again, stamping them with Versamark and heat embossing with the rose gold embossing powder from Simon Says Stamp. I didn't get the H on the stamp or on the word stamped very well, so I just inked it up, and I'm just going to carefully line that up and press that little part down. Add my embossing powder. That's going to look much better. I can go ahead and heat set that now with my heat gun. I like to heat my tool up before I take it to my paper so that it's nice and hot. It will help your paper not to bow. I'm going to flip my background over, trim off any of that excess that's hanging over, all those little half heart pieces. And there's what my background looks like. Then I'm going to have my wood grain tabbed paper, the peachy pink tabbed paper, and my photo collage. So I can go ahead and start attaching this layer or these elements to my page design. Again, I'm using the Permatac adhesive. It's a nice, strong adhesive. Just kind of lining it up there in the center of my page. Now for my photo collage, this is what I was talking about. I'm going to take some nice thin foam adhesive and completely cover the back of my photo collage. This is going to ensure that it stays nice and flat in my album and doesn't bow anywhere or kind of, depress in any area, but yet it's going to keep it nice and flush, especially with that ribbon back behind there. I'll attach my pink paper here to my card design. I did kind of have to pop things up a little bit and rearrange them, which can be kind of tricky with the Permatac adhesive. I'll tuck that little sheet kind of barely under the edge of my photo collage. And then I have my title pieces, plus a little mini clip from Tim Holtz. I love the addition of those, especially on little tabbed divider pages. I think they're a nice little office element. They both have that office element feel. I have die cut my greeting from some glitter cardstock. I think it's a brown glitter cardstock, but it has that kind of rose gold feel. So the embossing powder, the sequins I'm going to be using in a little bit, and my glitter paper really all kind of influenced the rest of the color choices for my page. I die cut it from glitter paper and black cardstock. I'm slightly offsetting it to give it that shadowed look. If you've watched any of my videos in the past several years, this is something I do a lot. I think it adds a lot of impact to a title. Makes it a little more two-dimensional instead of flat. I went ahead and stamped a greeting with a date stamp there in that little date area below my journaling. And then I can go ahead and add some adhesive to the back of my title pieces again. I'm going to start with the word then because I need that to line up with my little stamped and embossed heart. Go ahead and adhere the word now. Then I will add my adhesive to the back of the word and glue that in place. I like to put my acrylic block on there just to hold it down until the glue dries. I'm gluing some wooden hearts down. Again, these have been in my stash forever. I'm not exactly sure which company they're from. I'm attaching them with some Ranger matte medium. And finally, I'm going to finish with a scattering of 6mm and 4mm Pretty Pink Posh metallic rose gold sequins. I love these. I think they are gorgeous and they go so well with the rose gold embossing powder and the glitter title, as well as that peachy pink background. Really adds to the elegant, fun, feminine look of this page. I'm attaching those with some Thermoweb Bling Zots glue dots. They're just teeny tiny glue dots, but they work great for sequins. No liquid adhesive, so no mess. That is going to finish up my scrapbook page using Kerri Bradford cut files and stamps. The supplies I've used are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Please subscribe for weekly videos. Here are a couple more videos showcasing Kerri Bradford designs. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.